Have you ever had a sudden, gut feeling that saved you from a disaster? Or an idea that popped into your head out of nowhere and changed everything? Most people call it luck or intuition. But for a chosen soul, it's something much deeper. It's the divine radar. The Creator doesn't always shout. Most of the time, He whispers. If you're waiting for a burning bush or a voice from the clouds, you're going to miss the instructions for your next level. God is communicating with you through synchronicities, patterns, and internal nudges every single day. The problem isn't that He's silent. The problem is that you haven't been trained to listen. Today, I'm going to show you how to decode the language of the divine. Here are the 10 unmistakable signs that God is speaking directly to you right now. If you ignore these, you stay stuck. If you follow them, you become unstoppable. Chapter 1. The repetitive number sequence, the spiritual ping. Have you ever looked at the clock at exactly 11:11, seen 444 on a license plate, or noticed 888 on a random receipt? Most people dismiss this as coincidence or a trick of the brain. But for a chosen soul, this is a spiritual ping. Think of it as God sending you a text message in the language of the universe. Numbers are the foundation of creation. The divine architect built the stars and the atoms using mathematical precision. When you start seeing repetitive sequences, it is a sign that your divine radar is beginning to align with the frequency of heaven. These numbers are not just there to look pretty, they are markers of alignment. 1111 is often a call to wake up and focus on your thoughts. As your manifestation power is at its peak, 444 is a signal of protection, a reminder that the great guardian is standing with you in the middle of your trial. 888 is a herald of the abundance that is currently being prepared for you in the invisible realm. When you see these patterns, stop what you are doing, take a breath and acknowledge the source. Say, I see you, and I am listening. The harsh truth is that if you ignore the small signs, God will eventually have to use louder and more painful ways to get your attention. These sequences are an invitation to pay attention to your current path. What were you thinking about the moment you saw that number? Who were you talking to? God is using these numerical glitches in the matrix of your day to confirm that you are exactly where you need to be. You are not alone. The numbers are proof that the Master is orchestrating the details behind the scenes. Chapter 2. The sudden discomfort, divine protection. One of the most powerful ways God speaks to you is through the sudden discomfort. Have you ever been in a place you used to enjoy, or with a person you've known for years, and suddenly, out of nowhere, you feel a deep sense of unease? Your stomach tightens, your energy drains, and you feel an overwhelming urge to leave. This isn't social anxiety or a bad mood. This is the Holy Spirit triggering an alarm within your spirit. God is revealing the true frequency of your environment that was previously hidden from you. As you rise in your calling, your spiritual discernment becomes sharper. What you could tolerate a year ago will now feel like poison to your soul. This discomfort is God's way of closing a door before you even reach for the handle. He is protecting you from a betrayal you can't see, a trap you haven't sensed, or an energy that will siphon your creativity. When the vibe shifts, do not try to talk yourself out of it. Do not try to be polite or rationalize why you should stay. Respect the nudge. Many chosen souls lose their blessings because they value social etiquette more than divine instruction. If God makes you feel uncomfortable in a relationship or a business deal, it's because that connection is no longer aligned with your future. He is stirring your nest to make you fly. The discomfort is a mercy. It is the Creator saying, you have outgrown this level, and I have something holier for you. Learn to trust your gut over your logic. Your gut is connected to the divine radar. Your logic is only connected to your past. Chapter 3. The third-party message, the divine megaphone. Sometimes, God knows that our minds are too noisy to hear Him directly. Our fears, our to-do lists, and our ego create so much static that we miss the still, small voice within. When this happens, the Creator switches tactics and uses the third-party message. This is when a total stranger, a random billboard, or a video you happened to scroll past says the exact words you've been asking for in your private prayers. It feels like the world has suddenly become a megaphone for the divine. You might be at a coffee shop and overhear a conversation that solves a problem you've been struggling with for weeks. Or, a friend who knows nothing about your situation calls you and says, "I don't know why, but I felt like I should tell you this," and they proceed to give you the missing piece of your puzzle. This is not a random occurrence. This is the divine architect coordinating the movements of others to bring you an answer. It is a reminder that God is not only in you, but He is moving through the entire fabric of reality to support your mission. The sign of a chosen soul is the ability to recognize these moments as heavenly intel. When the same message comes to you from 3 different, unrelated sources, it is no longer a suggestion, it is a command. God is confirming His word to you so that you can act with absolute confidence. Stop dismissing these coincidences as luck. Start documenting them. When you realize that the Creator is literally using the world to talk to you, the world stops being a scary place and starts being a playground for your destiny. Listen to the strangers. Sometimes they are angels in disguise, carrying the blueprints for your next breakthrough. Chapter 4. The Dream Warning, the Night Shift Revelation. When you are awake, your ego is on guard. Your doubts, your logic, and the noise of the world create a shield that often blocks divine instructions. This is why the Creator waits until you are asleep to bypass your resistance. In the night shift, God takes you into the classroom of the Spirit to show you things that are hidden from the physical eye. A dream warning isn't just a random movie playing in your head, it is a spiritual download meant to prepare you for what is coming. You can distinguish a divine vision from a normal dream by its clarity and the weight it carries when you wake up. These dreams often feel more real than reality itself. God might show you a leak in your business, a person in your circle with a double heart, or a bridge to a new opportunity. Sometimes, He gives you a preemptive warning, showing you a disaster before it happens so that you can change your course or pray it out of existence. Do not ignore the symbols. If you wake up with a heavy heart or a sudden revelation from a dream, take it to the secret place. Ask the Father, "What are you showing me?" A chosen soul knows that sleep is not just for rest, it is for communication. While your body is recharging, your spirit is receiving the blueprints for the next day's battle. When God speaks in the night, it is because the message is too important to be drowned out by the light of day. Chapter 5. The Closed Door of Mercy, the Divine No. One of the loudest ways God speaks is through the doors He slams shut in your face. We often view rejection as a failure or a sign that we aren't good enough. We cry over the job we didn't get, the relationship that ended, or the deal that fell through at the last minute. But for the chosen, a no from the world is almost always a yes from heaven. This is the closed door of mercy. God is not denying you, He is redirecting you. If you could see what was behind that door, you wouldn't be crying, you'd be celebrating. God sees the iceberg that your ship was about to hit. He sees the toxic culture of that workplace that would have crushed your spirit. He sees the infidelity in that person's future that would have broken your heart. When your divine radar detects a closed door, stop trying to kick it down. Stop begging for access to places God is trying to extract you from. Rejection is simply divine protection in disguise. When God closes a door, He is forcing you to look toward the window He has already opened. Every time a human says no to you, God is saying, "I have something better, something holier, and something that won't require you to sacrifice your soul." Learn to thank the Creator for the missed opportunities. They are the very things that kept you on the narrow path to your true kingdom. Chapter 6. The Burning Heart, the Compass of Passion. Logic tells you to do what is safe, practical, and profitable, but the divine radar ignores your spreadsheet and speaks to your heart. You will experience what I call the asterisk, burning heart, an intense, unshakable passion for a specific path that doesn't necessarily make sense on paper. You might feel a sudden, overwhelming urge to write a book, move to a new city, or start a business in a field you know nothing about. This isn't a whim, it is a divine command. This fire is God's way of branding your soul with your next assignment. When the Creator wants you to move, He creates a holy dissatisfaction with where you are. Your current success starts to feel empty. Your old hobbies start to feel boring. The fire in your heart begins to point toward a new horizon. This is the internal compass of the chosen. While others are waiting for market research, you are being moved by spirit research. Do not let the fear of how extinguish the fire of what. If God gave you the burning heart for a mission, He has already provided the resources to fulfill it. The fire is the signal that the grace for your current season has expired and the grace for your new season is ready. When your heart burns, it's time to move. You don't need the approval of the world when you have the internal heat of the divine. Follow the fire. It will lead you exactly where the miracles are waiting. Chapter 7. Divine Synchronicities, the Cosmic Coincidence. A synchronicity is a miracle that prefers to stay anonymous. It is when two or more unrelated events align so perfectly that the probability of it being luck becomes zero. For the chosen soul, these are divine orchestrations. You think of a person you need to talk to, and 5 minutes later, they call you. You need a specific amount of money for a bill, and an unexpected check arrives in the mail for that exact amount. These are not accidents. They are the gears of the universe clicking into place because you are finally in alignment with the Father's timing. Synchronicities are God's way of saying, I am here, and I am working in the details. While the world struggles and hustles to make things happen, the chosen soul learns to flow with the divine rhythm. When you are on the right path, you don't have to force doors open. They begin to swing wide on their own. You meet the right mentor in an elevator. You find the right information in a book that fell off the shelf. Your job is to remain observant. When a synchronicity happens, it is a green light from heaven. It's the divine radar confirming that your frequency is locked onto the target. Stop trying to figure out the math of how God is going to bless you. The Creator doesn't use math, He uses sovereignty. When the patterns align, don't overthink it, just walk through the door. Chapter 8. The Silence of the Secret Place, the Divine Download. One of the clearest signs that God is about to move you to a new level is when He suddenly silences the world around you. You might find yourself losing interest in social media, parties, or even casual conversations. You feel a sudden, intense craving for solitude and quiet. This isn't depression or antisocial behavior. It is God pulling you into the secret place for a mandatory software upgrade. When a commander is preparing his elite troops for a secret mission, he pulls them off the front lines and into a private briefing room. That is what God is doing with you. He is muting the opinions of others so you can hear His frequency with absolute clarity. In this silence, He isn't just giving you advice, He is giving you downloads. He is planting the strategies, the inventions, and the wisdom you will need for the war of your next season. If you fight the silence by trying to stay connected to the noise, you will miss the briefing. Embrace the quiet season. This is where your strength is renewed and your vision is sharpened. The depth of your silence determines the height of your success. When God shuts the world out, it's because He wants to be the only voice you hear before He launches you into your greatness. Chapter 9. The Burden of Intercession, the Spiritual Push Notification. Have you ever had a person stuck in your mind for no apparent reason? You haven't spoken to them in years, but suddenly, you can't stop thinking about them. You might even feel a sense of heaviness or urgency regarding them. This is the burden of intercession. It is a divine push notification sent to your spirit. God is using your divine radar to detect a battle that someone else is fighting. And He is calling you to intervene. As a chosen soul, you are a light bearer. Sometimes, God needs your energy and your prayers to shift the atmosphere for someone who is too weak to pray for themselves. You are being assigned to them in the Spirit. When this burden hits you, don't ignore it. You don't even need to know what is wrong. You just need to lift them up to the source. Say, Father, whoever they are and whatever they are facing, send your light. Often, you will find out later that at the exact moment you felt that heaviness, that person was in a crisis, a car accident, or a moment of deep despair. By responding to the nudge, you became a co-worker with the divine. This is the highest form of spiritual maturity, when God can trust you not just with your own destiny, but with the well-being of others. When you honor the nudge to pray for others, God ensures that there is always someone assigned to pray for you. Here is the final chapter and the complete publishing package for the Divine Radar. This conclusion focuses on the ultimate confirmation of God's guidance, supernatural peace. Chapter 10. The peace that surpasses understanding, the ultimate confirmation. The final and most undeniable sign that God is leading you is not a loud voice or a grand miracle, it is peace. But not just any peace, it is a peace that surpasses all understanding. This is the kind of calm that stays with you even when your bank account is low. Your critics are loud, and your future looks uncertain. While everyone else is panicking, you feel an internal stillness that doesn't make logical sense. This is the divine seal on your radar. When you are out of alignment with God's will, you will feel a constant friction in your spirit, no matter how much money you make. But when you are on the right path, the Creator breathes His shalom over your soul. It is a quiet confidence that says, I have already handled the outcome. This peace is your protection against impulsive decisions and fear-based hustle. If a great opportunity comes your way but it costs you your peace, it is not from God. Never trade your internal stillness for an external gain. If the radar shows a clear path but your spirit feels heavy, wait. If the path looks impossible but your spirit feels light, move. God's peace is the ultimate green light. When you have it, you can walk through the valley of the shadow of death and fear no evil. Because you know the architect is walking right beside you. God is not silent. He has been shouting through your dreams, whispering through your intuition, and signaling through the world around you since the day you were born. The question isn't whether He is speaking. The question is, are you tuned in? As a chosen soul, you are equipped with a divine radar that the world cannot see. Stop looking for answers in the noise of the crowd and start listening to the frequency of the Creator. When you learn to decode His language, you stop guessing and start knowing. You stop wandering and start walking. The instructions for your next level are already being broadcast. Quiet the noise, trust the nudge, and follow the peace. Your destiny is calling. Will you answer? Comment, I am listening, to activate your spiritual discernment today. Share this with one person who needs a sign from heaven, and subscribe to keep your radar locked onto the divine. The signal is clear, the path is set, walk in power. Amen.